Look in any reputable science-based source, and you'll see that vaccines are safe, they're effective, and they're constantly monitored by scientists and regulators to make sure they're working as they should. But that hasn't stopped misinformation and conspiracy theories about vaccines to spread, including coming from Donald Trump's pick to head the Federal Health and Human Services Department. Some doctors and experts in Clinton County are coming together this weekend to fight that misinformation and reassure patients to get vaccinated. That's today's story of the day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from Clarkson University, offering over 95 programs of study with campuses in the Hudson Valley, Central, and Northern New York. More at clarkson.edu.
Hey, I'm David Sommerstein. It's Friday, January 17th. First up, Congresswoman Stefanik has been meeting with senators as she prepares for a vote on her nomination as UN ambassador. Stefanik has reportedly secured support from some Democrats, including New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. But she hasn't won over Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy.
I met with her yesterday. It was a concerning meeting. Seems very intelligent, but she, for instance, supports the United States withdrawing from the World Health Organization. That's just a devastating and lethal idea. It'll get Americans killed if we don't participate in the organization that helps prevent pandemics, but it also just, hands the WHO over to China.
Stefanik will go before the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations at 10 o'clock Tuesday morning for her confirmation hearing. Meanwhile, favorites are emerging to be the Republican candidate in the special election to replace Stefanik. According to two recent reports, only one has North Country roots. According to Adirondack Explorer and the Albany Times-Union, Schoharie County Assemblyman and former dairy farmer Chris Tague is becoming a top preference for GOP county committee chairs. The Times-Union reports former Capital Area congressional candidate Liz Joy is also seen as a frontrunner. Joy does have North Country roots. She was born and raised in Warren County. Rensselaer County Executive Steve McLaughlin is also seen as a contender. Stefanik's confirmation hearing to become U.S. ambassador to the United Nations is next Tuesday. Her expected confirmation will trigger a special election. There's no primary, though, so county committee chairs from both parties will choose their preferred candidates, not voters. The 21st Congressional District has traditionally been a North Country district, with local residents like Republican John McHugh and Democrat Bill Owens bringing their knowledge of the huge, sparsely populated region to Washington, D.C. But the district has grown south under redistricting, where larger populations of voters could have more sway. Democrats are also sorting through their field of candidates. The winner faces an uphill battle. The district has become deep red, with Republicans enjoying a voter enrollment advantage. Stefanik has won her last few elections by almost 20 percentage points or more. Governor Kathy Hochul will have 10 days to schedule the special election after Stefanik resigns her seat in Congress. The election must be held 70 to 80 days after that. A group of Clinton County healthcare providers will participate in a vaccine information event tomorrow. The Truth and Science of Immunizations will take place from 11 to 3 at the Clinton County Government Center. One of the speakers is Dr. Bruce Bunn. He recently retired as Champlain Valley Physician Hospital's ICU director after more than 35 years in medicine.
When I first started, vaccines were looked at as, the miracle of the 20th century that saved us from a lot of death and suffering from disease.
But he says over the years he's seen growing vaccine cynicism fueled by people who aren't in science or medicine. One of them is Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's been nominated by President-elect Donald Trump to be the next Secretary of Health and Human Services. Kennedy has pushed anti-vaccine rhetoric, including debunked claims that vaccines can cause autism and other diseases. Bunn told Champlain Valley reporter Kara Chapman that undermining the safety and effectiveness of vaccines is dangerous.
There was a time when polio paralyzed 20,000 people a year in the United States, including Franklin Roosevelt. And we just can't return to the dark past, following these rantings of vaccine cynics. And that's that's largely, what we really need to do at this point in time is start messaging through people who are trusted by folks in our community to explain, how science has really created these safe and effective vaccines to help prevent disease.
In light of that, can you tell me about the event that's taking place this Saturday, what the format is, and who's involved?
It's going to involve live presentations from noon to 1 p.m. And then there's really walk-in that goes all the way from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We have several providers who are going to be presenting on vaccines, and those include Stacy Carter-Kelly, who's a practicing physician's assistant in Plattsburgh. And she's going to be presenting on the measles epidemic in Samoa in 2019. And we're going to have Jess Murnane. She's an RN working out of CVPH Hospital, and she's going to be presenting on propaganda and how propaganda has been used as a tool through history to influence public opinion, and how, we might understand the mechanisms of propaganda to make ourselves more immune, to propaganda. We have Dr. Harold Chasky, a pediatrician who is practicing here in the North Country now for many, many years. And he's going to be giving us some information about the history of vaccines. And then topic of my discussion is lowdown on vaccines, addressing some of the myths and misconceptions about vaccines. Then we have Dan Bosley. He's a locally respected pharmacist, and he'll have 100 doses of free flu vaccine on hand for folks who do not have insurance coverage to get vaccines.
I'm wondering, Dr. Bunn, who is your target audience for the event, and how are you trying to reach those people to make sure that they come?
Basically, community members in and around the Plattsburgh area. We really want to act locally. The real goals are, I came up with a phrase, community immunity, to replace the concept of herd immunity, because I thought it has a little more ring to it, where, we want to develop an area here in the North Country where, we increase the vaccination rates so that we can all be protected from, the scourges of, all these illnesses that can cause significant disability and death.
Why is it important to hold an event like this?
Well, I think, what is important is that we take messaging away from the national spotlight, from these platforms, Facebook and others that cynics use in order to attack vaccines, and bring, the information that we give to people back to locally trusted people who can message appropriately and use, the truth and the science of immunizations in order to help folks trust vaccines more.
Right. And what's your advice to, the people, parents, families who are navigating this environment of vaccine information and mis and disinformation?
Number one, trust your healthcare provider. They don't have an agenda other than, improving your child's health, improving your health, keeping you an active and healthy member of the community. They don't have a political agenda that, they're trying to use sensationalism in order to try to, to bolster. They're just trying to help you to stay healthy. And that's their primary motivation.
That was Dr. Bruce Bunn speaking with Kara Chapman. Bunn and other Clinton County healthcare providers will participate in the Truth and Science of Immunization at the Clinton County Government Center tomorrow. The event is sponsored by Show Up and co-sponsored by the Clinton County Democratic Committee. We have more news all the time and through the weekend on our website, ncpr.org. Music today by Evan Veenstra of Gananoque, Ontario, and Ben Cato of Jay. Have a super duper weekend. I'm David Summerstein, North Country Public Radio.